These are the solutions to the even problems for your work standard assignment on dividing rational expressions. Pretty much, you're going to want to go through this and factor wherever possible. So the first one that you actually can factor on is problem 10, and you're going to want to try to factor each piece of the numerators and denominators. So actually a common factor comes out of these of 4 and a 5, but on the second page, there's a lot that will factor, and you're going to have to go back to, you know, what does it mean to factor? So if you look at problem 20, and I'm taking the 25x squared minus 25x plus 4, and I'm factoring that, I get the x-intercepts, and then I write the factors based on that rule. So 5x minus 1 times 5x minus 4. And then do a double check for a common factor, which there's not one, because 5x times 5x gives you the 25x squared. Same thing on all pieces, especially starting, you know, this whole second page, there's some factoring to do. And that has to be done correctly before you proceed in what you're going to do with this. So dividing rational expressions, here's the idea. You take the numerator and you multiply it by the reciprocal of the denominator. And the reason for that is you're actually trying to create a 1 in the denominator. So here's simple fractions, an example with simple fractions. And so on all of these, you are taking the second expression after you get the factoring done. After you get the factoring done. So that's going to take you a while. Then you're ready to go in and start doing what I call multiplying and or canceling. So you can reduce the, so you see the ends, they'll cancel out. And then the 8 will go into the 16 twice. So you can do this cross canceling or straight canceling by dividing out by common factors. So 8 goes into 8 once, 8 goes into 16 twice, or just think 16 over 8 is 2. Either way. And then you multiply across once all that's done. And that's your final answer. So factor first, that hasn't happened yet. Flip the denominator and multiply, and then cancel like factors. So problem 4 is another one where we're good to go. Times 11r over 4. And again, it's the same concept as up here. That's why we're flipping and multiplying. And now just do the, so 12 over 4 is 3. So 33r over 7. Problem 6, 5 over 20 times 3 over 5x. So these will drop, making 3 over 20x. Problem 8, still no factoring to do yet, times b plus 1 over 3. 3 over 3 is 1. I want to say this, the b's do not cancel. Do not make this mistake. This b does not cancel with that b. That's a no. There has to be another b plus 1, or there has to be another b to cancel. Problem 10 is the first problem where you actually get some common factors to take out. And you have to do that before you flip and multiply. Take the common factors out. So those drop, the 6's drop, and you end up with just 5 over 4. So after all your canceling is done, you're good to go. So a couple more common factors on this, and then you're going to, again, take the second one and flip and multiply and cancel terms. It doesn't matter what way. You can do the 6's like this. There's a 1 if there's nothing left. So we have a 7 over 6x on the bottom. All right, problem 14. So this is 1 over 2a times 2a times a plus 8. That's the factoring. So you have to factor this bottom correctly, or not going to get it right. So the 2a's drop, and you have a plus 8 over 8a. You cannot cancel. It has to be, if you have an a plus 8, you have to have another a plus 8. If you have an a on the bottom, you have to have another a on the top. You cannot cancel parts of a factor. Problem 16. So we have an a minus 4 on the bottom times a plus 2 on that first part, and then a minus 5 over 1. Okay, so those will drop, leaving a minus 5 over a plus 2. If you get the factoring right, it's not hard. It's not hard, but you got to get the factoring right, including the common factors. So this one will be a little bit jammed up here, times b plus 3 over 2 times b plus 3 times 3b minus 10 times, okay, so on the top, b minus 1 and 3b minus 10. I'm going to have to write it up the side here. And then on the bottom, 8 times b, 5b plus 6. So 5b plus 6 with that 5b plus 6. This 3b minus 10 with that 3b minus 10. This b plus 3 with that b plus 3, that 2 with that 2. And you're left with just b minus 1 over this 8 here. Okay, it's a little bit hard to read. I didn't leave myself very much room there. But you do have to flip that second one and multiply. So you can just imagine, you know, the 3b minus 10 is on the top, so it cancels with that. The b minus 1's on the top, that doesn't cancel with anything. The 5b plus 6 is on the bottom, it cancels with that. The 8's on the bottom, it doesn't cancel with anything. And then the 2's drop here. So you can actually probably just look at it and imagine it flipped instead of having to write all of that out. So the 2's will drop here. And so the x minus 8 is in the top, and that's not going to cancel with anything. So we have that. The 5x minus 4 would be in the bottom, so it's going to cancel with that. The 5x minus 1's, that even if you flip it, one's on the top, one's on the bottom, and the x minus 2's, one's on the top, one's on. So you just have an x minus 8 on the top over 1. So you can like do the canceling, just imagine it being flipped, but you do have to flip it. So 3x plus 2's, those will go. The x minus 6 is in the top. The 5x minus 3 will drop with that one. So we have an x minus 9 times x minus 6 in the top over 9 in the bottom, because it's the second one that you flip and not the first one. Okay, pretty easy to do. You just have to get the factoring right before you cancel. So that's something that you need to go through and do. Get the factoring right first, and then do the flip in the canceling. And you can cancel across, you can cancel vertically, but you need to have one on the top exact with one on the bottom.